about the process of visa application and uh, how to go to your rotation, what to expect from your rotation, and how to prepare beforehand. As you know, the process of obtaining a visa is the most important step for going to rotation. So if you don't have a visa, you can't just enter the country. So visa, the process of visa may be overwhelming, but uh, I'll make it easy. So generally, the waiting times for visas in India is very high. Let me tell you what type of visas generally are preferred for rotation. Okay, so generally the types of visas are B1, B2 visas. So these are temporary visas. They are only used for visiting and business purposes. So you can't get an employment with this visa. Next comes the J1 exchange visa. So this is an exchange worker visa. It's like an employment exchange. You go and work over there, and you come back to the country. Okay. So next comes the J1 research scholar. So the J1 research scholar actually is used only for research purposes. So people who go to postdoctoral research purposes, they need to obtain this visa, and then only they can go for research. H1B visa, as you know, it's a temporary work visa. So only if you're on an H1B, you will be able to obtain a green card. Okay, so generally during your residency, you will be sponsored with J1 exchange visa or a H1B visa. So generally J1 visas are more in number than H1B visas. So a lot of programs sponsor J1 visa because it is easy to obtain and the paperwork is very less. Okay, so but for rotation, generally the preferred visa is B1, B2. It's a 6 month temporary visa. So you can, it has a validity of 10 years. So you can go for 6 months, do your rotations, come back, and you can go for 6 months again. So it has a validity of 10 years. You can use the visa for up to 10 years. Okay, so what visa to apply? So sorry for the font. So generally, as I said, B1, B2 is preferred for clinical rotations. And also, you need to remember that you can also do rotations on a J1 research visa. So if you have gone for research purposes and you want to do a rotation along with your research work, you can do that. So steps to apply. So first, you need to fill out a form called DS-160. So you can see on the screen. So it's an application form which contains all the details. You need to fill out the details, and details must be genuine and true. So the website I've given it down. I will post the PDF in the group, and you can go and look at the website. So the first step will be to fill out this application form. You will get a DS-160 confirmation number. It is required for the process. Okay. So the next step, what you will do is you will create a CGL portal account and pay the visa fee. So CGL portal is a portal to get an interview, get a slot for the interview. So the first thing you will do is go to this website, as you can see here. So go to this website, create an account, and then you need to pay the visa fees. So the visa fees is around $160. So the payment can be done through any bank. You can just go to the bank and you can say that I need to pay the fee for the visa, and they will charge around $160. I don't know what the price is now, but when I paid, the price was $160. Or you can go through the CJ portal too. So if you have already created the CJ portal account, you can also pay the fees online through the CJ portal. So anything is preferable. So when you pay the fees, you will get a receipt number. They will give you a receipt number, and you need to use the receipt number to book a slot. So the next step will be to book a slot for the interview. So the interview will be conducted in the US consulate, which is present in major cities in India. So you need to go and attend the interview. So to book the slot for the interview, you need to use the receipt number of the payment. You need to book that in the CJ portal. Okay. So then you need to attend the interview with the necessary documents. Okay. So generally, this process may look very overwhelming. So you can do it on your own, but the preferred that what I suggest is you'll have a lot of visa agents present around, so they will do all the work for you. So if you think that it's very time taking and tiresome, you can always consult visa agents. They will always if you pay some fees for them, they will always try to book some slot. They will always look for slots and try to book them for you. So that might be pretty easy than you doing on your own. So I suggest that you can prefer that. So if you're going for an interview, you need to you need to bring some documents for verification. So what are the documents required? So you need to have a current valid passport, which is the most important thing, and then any expired passport to show the past travel. If you have traveled to the US in the past, you need to show that, and then proof of funds to cover entire cost travel. So the people who interview you, they need to know that you will be able to pay for your travel, and you need to show some proof of your funds, like bank statements or asset statements. So any chartered accountant, so you can ask them to get a statement done, your bank transactions, your bank deposits, and your asset values. They will they will uh, they will do a very certified statement for you. So you need to have that, and your financial sponsorship letter for visa. So it's a sponsorship letter uh, signed by the person who is sponsoring your travel. So if your father is sponsoring your travel, you need to get it signed by your father. So if any of the relatives are sponsoring your travel, you need to get signed by that. Okay. The next thing is proof of strong ties to your home country. So the visa people, so especially for B1, B2 visa, you need to assure them that you will be going to you'll be coming back to your home country. They need to know that then only it will be easy for them to issue a visa for you. So for that you need to show some records or proof that you'll be returning back to your home country. So generally for medical students, they will get their medical school transcript to show that they're still a student and they need to come back to complete their degree. So for graduates, they can show an employment proof that they're working in a hospital, and they'll be coming back to work over there. Okay, so the next thing is printed copy of your visa appointment letter. So when you get book a slot for your interview, you'll get a visa appointment. You need to print that and bring that also. Next, the printed copy of D60, DS160 confirmation page. So when you fill the application form and uh, you fill the application form and you send it, then you'll get a DS160 confirmation copy. You need to print that and bring that also. And the last one is the most important. This will be generally asked when you tell them that you will be going for rotations. They will surely ask the letter of invitation from the hospital or the clinic that you will be rotating. So it's the most important thing to obtain, and you should be able to answer them right. It should be genuine, the letter of invitation. So if the hospital or the clinic that you will be rotating, if they are sponsoring letter, that is a better document to obtain a visa. So people who already have visas, they don't need any letter of invitation. They can they can travel without any letter of invitation. But it is better if you have a letter of invitation also, even for the people who have visas. So how do you prepare for an interview? So people always think that interview, okay, so it's very overwhelming, or what questions are they going to ask? How can I prepare that? So generally, they will be asking very common questions. There are some commonly asked questions that they ask for a specific uh, person, specific profession. So you just need to answer those questions. Okay, so what you need to do is prepare some answers for commonly asked questions in the interview. I will get to the commonly asked questions in the next slide. So you write down your answers for the questions and try to prepare them, try to answer them correctly. So for that you can do some mock interviews with your friends or family members. So get your one of your family member or your friend and tell them to be the interviewer, you be the interviewee, and you try to answer them the questions, and you will get better at that. So and also try to decrease hesitation while answering. So you'll say in the middle. Generally, people will say, so try to minimize that. You can't avoid that, but try to minimize that. Okay, and also give perfect and genuine answers that you prepared. So don't lie to them. Okay, so because in the future it might lead to some problems, some legal problems. So don't lie to them. Be genuine. Give genuine answers, and give perfect answers. Okay, so avoid giving extra information other than required. Okay, so if they are asking you why are you visiting, just tell them that okay, I'm going for observership or rotation to obtain some clinical knowledge. That is enough. You don't need to explain them what are you, where are you going, what are you doing. They'll be asking you later. So just give them one sentence answers. Don't give them any extra information. Okay, so sometimes you may get asked some unexpected questions. Okay, so they might ask you something unexpected which you are not prepared for. But remember that be calm and genuinely answer them. Okay, you don't need to hesitate. Okay, just be calm and answer them what you have in your brain. That's all. Because you're just answering what you already know. They'll be asking you what you already know. They won't be asking anything that you don't know. Okay. So these are some commonly asked interview questions. Okay. So the most common questions are this. So they'll be asking you what is the purpose of your visit? Why have you chosen this time period? Do you have a letter of invitation? So if you have them, you need to show them. So they'll be asking how long will you stay in the USA? Where are you going to do your apprenticeship? So what specialty are you going to rotate? Why only that specialty? And tell me more about what you'll be going to do. So you need to prepare your answers. Okay, for these are the most commonly asked questions. So they might ask them, they might not ask them. They may ask anything, something extra, or they might not ask. So it's better to be prepared. So these are generally asked questions. So mostly you can prepare them. You can write your answers. Everyone will have specific answers. So prepare them. Do some mock interviews, and you'll get some confidence to answer. Okay. Next comes to USC experience. So you have applied for a rotation. You got your rotation. So what to do next? So how to prepare beforehand for going to the US and starting your rotation. So get the necessary equipment for your rotation like stethoscope, full hand aprons, scrubs, etc. So generally, the hospital administration they will be sending you uh, some affidavit which which gives all the requirements. You can go through the requirements and they will give the requirements what should you bring and what should you not bring. So according to that you can plan. Okay. Next, get to know the name of your preceptor. So who are you rotating with? Get to know the name of the doctor beforehand, and also the exact address of the place you're rotating. Okay. Next, plan your stay and transport beforehand. If you have a hospital and you need to plan your stay and your transportation because these are the most common problems that people face when they go to rotations. Where they can stay, what are the transport, how can they go to the hospital or the clinic. Okay, so we'll come back to the stay and transportation in the next slide. Next, get a forex card for transactions and payments. So a lot of banks like HDFC and ICICI, they give a forex card, which is nothing but a foreign exchange transaction card. So you can add your currency in rupees and you can pay in dollars. So that is what its purpose is. So you can obtain that so that your transactions and your payments will be easy while you stay in the US. You can also open a bank account and get a debit card. So some banks offer bank accounts on B1, B2 visa also. So banks like Wells Fargo, PNC, and Chase, they will make you open a bank account and they'll give a debit card, so you can use that also if it's preferred. And if necessary, you can get an international driving license and an American SIM number. So these are not compulsory. If you want to, you can get them. So how to plan your accommodation and transport? So this is the most important topic for every person who goes for rotation. So generally, your accommodation. Okay, if you are alone, if you are a single, if you are on your own, and you are going for rotation on your own, you can look for accommodations online. So generally, the most preferred website is Airbnb.com, and Suleka.com is exclusively for Indians. So people who want Indian roommates or Indian tenants, they can prefer this website also. Okay, and next you can try. So generally, this is the most preferred option, and also you can try asking friends. So you might have friends in your college or friends in your group who have already rotated in that area. So if you know someone, you can contact them and get to know where they have stayed, and you can plan it accordingly. Next, you can ask in WhatsApp groups and online forums. So there are a lot of WhatsApp groups for USMLE. Okay, you can just go into the group and you can ask if you have obtained a rotation over there and you're looking for accommodation. So anyone has got any hunches, you can just ask them. So anyone who has rotated, they might respond to you, and you can ask in online forums. So there are online USMLE forums, preferably for accommodation purposes. You can go to the forums. You can directly ask. You can put the name of your place and where you're going to stay, and someone might help you. You can go to Reddit also. I don't prefer going to Reddit, but you can try that also. And you can approach someone from the faculty or administration from the hospital you're rotating. So this might be a better option because a lot of faculty and a lot of administrative team, they stay near the hospital, so that it will be easy to communicate. So they will have some input on where to stay and where what places are easy to find. So you can approach someone from that and you can ask them directly. So you'll get some input on where to stay, where not to stay. You can try that also. So for people who have relatives, of course, if you have any relatives staying in the US, you can stay with them. If you got your rotation in that city, you can do that also. So the next thing is transportation. So you need to know that in US, public transport is very limited. It's not like in India. Public transport is generally present in only in some large cities like New York, Chicago, Houston, Detroit, and there are only a lot of very few cities where they have public transport, and also the public transport is not very vast. It's only limited to some areas in the city. So fortunately, if you have your hospital located near to any public transport, you can use that. So generally, the you can get accommodation anywhere near the place you will be rotating. So generally, uh, you, the preferred thing is basically people prefer Uber and walking. So they generally get accommodation anywhere near to the hospital. They'll be rotating. So I've previously shown you how to get an accommodation. You can try that and try to obtain near to your hospital or a clinic you will be rotating. It will save you a lot of expenses. So you can rent a car to drive temporarily if you want, but you need an international driving license for that, as I've already told you. And you can ask people who have rotated previously, okay, and do your own research. So you can ask people before who have already rotated in that, and if they give you some input, please do your own research. Please look at the area, and if you like it, you can take it. Okay. Here are some important points. Okay, which you need to remember. So some places in large cities are not very safe to stay. So you need to remember that. And so do some research beforehand before you get a place. So do some research about the area you will be staying, about the neighborhood. Ask your friends or ask in WhatsApp groups, and uh, you can ask the preceptor or the administrative team, they'll give you some input on where to stay and where not to stay and what areas to avoid. So this is not in every city. Only some parts of large cities like Chicago, Brooklyn, and Detroit. There are only some places which you should avoid. Okay. So and also Uber and other cab services are pretty expensive. So it's better to take a place which is 10 to 20 minutes away from the hospital, so that you will be able to cut some expenses, because as you know, living in the US is not that cheap. So if you're going to do 3 rotations, it will cost you a lot. So you need to keep in mind how to cut expenses. Okay. So make sure your emergency contacts are all set and SO settings are active. So set some emergency contacts, and you will have SO settings in your phone. Activate them. If you rent a car, so if you want to drive your car on your own, you can rent a car, but you need to make sure that you need to know the traffic rules, and you need to drive safely beforehand, because if you hit someone, it will lead to a lot of legal issues, and if you are caught, it will take a lot of paperwork, and it's a very tiresome process. So I don't prefer getting a car, but if you're interested, you can do that. But please try to drive safely and know all the traffic rules beforehand. Keep your ID and other documents safe. So your IDs like passport, any other important cards, and your documents. Please keep them safe somewhere. Okay. So here are some tips to cut down expenses. So get a shared room to cut down on rent. So rent in the US is very expensive. So it will be anywhere from $500 to 1,500 $2,000. So the better way to cut down your expenses will be to get a shared room with some other person. If you have your friend, you can both of you can share. So even if you don't know the person, it won't be a problem. Cutting down your expenses is the most important thing. Okay. You use public transport as much as possible. Okay. So if you're fortunate to get some public transport near to your stay, use that as much as possible. Okay. So get your all necessary belongings like clothes, utensils, sweaters, shoes, etc. along with you. So you will know beforehand what to bring and what not to bring. They'll be telling you. So get your necessary belongings, tag them accordingly. Okay, because buying anything in the US is not cheap. Okay, so if you already have them in India, try to bring them only. Don't need to buy them again. Okay, former clothes are very expensive. You should remember that. Former clothes are not cheap. So generally, former clothes are preferred for rotations. Okay, so get them, buy them here in India or any other country that you will be coming from. Okay, bring as many as possible. Okay, so how to get the best of your rotation? So if you're going to a rotation, what you need to remember while completing your rotation. So you need to be proactive. You need to take active participation in all duties, and what doctor your preceptor asks you to do, you need to you try to do as much as you can. Okay, you don't need to do everything, but show them that you are you are there and you are present over there and you're trying to do. Okay, trying to work. That's what they want to see. Okay, greet everyone formally. So generally sirs and madams are not preferred over there. You can call the doctor by their name. So just greet them formally, uh, and try to greet everyone. You can just say hi, hello, how you doing. Okay, it's very common. Okay, nobody will judge you or do anything to you, and try to communicate as much as possible in English. Okay, even if you are very bad at English, it can be improved only through communication. Okay, so even if you're bad, try to talk as much as possible. Eventually you'll improve. So if you're afraid that people will judge you, nobody is going to judge you. A lot of people don't know English in the US. Okay, so you aren't any special. Okay, at least they will know that you're trying. Okay, a lot of people from other countries, they don't even know English. Their curriculum will be taught in their language of their country. So they will be coming to the US and they will start learning English. Okay, at least in India, you'll get to learn English in school before. So try to communicate as much as possible. That's what I want to say. Okay, and before you start your rotation, go to the ask the preceptor what is expected. So what are the expectations? What does he want to do? What does he expect from you? You need to do. You ask him beforehand. You'll get to know okay what he's expecting, and try to reach the expectations. Okay, can't do that in one day. Try to reach it in a short period of time. Okay, and the most important thing is get feedback from the preceptor. So ask them, go and ask them. Okay, so uh, do you find any flaws in my work, or what can I do more to improve myself? Get some feedback from the preceptor or preceptors, and try to improve those areas. So if they point out some area that you need to improve, try to improve and show them that you're improving. That's what they want to see. Okay, try to come early and leave late. They need to know this. You need to show them that you are a hard worker. So try to come early before your preceptor comes, and try to leave late. Okay, ask as many questions as possible. Okay, you don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. Okay, if you ask questions, then the preceptor will try to remember you. Okay, and you will know that you are trying to learn. Okay, they want to see that. So, and nobody will judge over there. People will be very friendly. Okay, not everyone, but most of them will be very friendly. So nobody will judge over there. Even if you ask any stupid questions, even if you don't know anything, you can just ask them how can I do this, how can I do that. They'll be very welcoming to help you. Okay, and don't feel discouraged if you don't know everything. You're there to learn eventually. Okay, so if you don't know anything, just ask. Okay, ask them, get some input and improve. That's all. And be humble and welcoming. Okay, so these are the most important things to get the best out of your rotation. If you want a good LOR, try to follow these steps and show them all of this, and you'll be getting a good LOR. So these are the most important things a preceptor wants to see in you generally. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Harshit, for the wonderful session. So, guys, keeping the academic side aside in your rotations or USCE, so all the tips which are covered in this are really important to get you a better LOR. So, we need to, I mean, you people need to know how to be at your rotation and what to do and what not to do.
If you have any questions, you can answer them.
Yes, you can ask them in the chat box, or you can just switch on your mic and ask them.
Yeah, you
Before that,
can.
one question from my side is, can you tell your experience in brief?
So I have rotated uh, in a hospital and in a clinic. So the clinic was in Houston, and it was a neurology rotation. And the second was a hospital rotation in Jackson Park, Chicago. Okay, so I I learned a lot of things from that. I didn't have anyone to tell me beforehand. I only uh, got to know from a few friends what to do and what not to do, what to do in the rotation. So I was very naive when I started. I didn't know how to even talk to patients. Okay, so because I know I can talk in English, but the English that people in the US talk is very very fast, very quick, and it's difficult to understand initially. But eventually, try to communicate. That's all. I tried. Even if you can't form sentences, try to talk whatever you think you whatever gets in your brain. Try to talk. Okay, and try to listen to other people also, and listen to them. How are they communicating? How are they forming these sentences? And eventually you'll improve. So I improved in a week. Basically, I started talking to patients. I saw my preceptor how he was talking to the patients, and try to mimic that. Okay, that's the best thing you can do, and generally you will improve. Okay, you will improve your English better, and try to participate as much as you can. Okay, don't be afraid to talk to a patient. Nobody is going to judge you. The patient is not going to judge you. Okay, so try to talk as much as possible and try to participate in everything the preceptor tells you to do. Try to do it. Okay, and be punctual and humble. That's what I want to say. So generally what I got to know from my neurology rotation is clinics are not that much preferable. So if you want to do, you can do that, but clinic rotations are not that good. Hospital rotations might be preferable. It's better than a clinic rotation. uh, but the best out of all these, getting a rotation in academic programs in the universities are preferred. So generally, but it was a very humbling experience for me. I got to know a lot how the system in the US works, how to talk to different diversities. The patients will be coming from different languages, different countries, and different races. So you need to communicate with them. You need to communicate one patient accordingly. Okay, so you will get to know everything. You'll get to know the how the EMR works, and if you are fortunate enough to get hands on your EMR, try to learn it as much as possible. Okay, because every patient record in the US that goes through the EMR, which is the most important part and parcel of the healthcare system in the US. So try to learn the EMR as much as possible. Okay, that's what I want to say. Thank you.
There are two questions. Should we tell the embassy people that we will be rotating for 1 month or like 3 months? I mean, B1B2 is for 6 months, right? So even I've heard that if we straight away say that I'm going to stay for 5 months, there is a chance of visa getting rejected for us. So we can tell them 1 month, or we can just tell them 3 months. Is there an issue with that?
Yeah, it's a good question. So generally, people obtain a visa. Okay, they generally people tell that you're going for 1 month. That's what I know. Even if you tell them that you're going for 3 months, it won't be a problem basically. Okay, but if you're trying to tell them that you'll be staying for more than 5 or 6 months, then it might turn out to be a problem. But 1 to 3 months, it's not that a problem. You can just show them your sponsor letter, and that's all. So, but what I prefer is just get a rotation for 1 month, get your visa, and then you can postpone your rotation if you want. That won't be a problem. Also, you can do that. Also, a lot of people do that. They will get their rotation. They'll get their sponsor letter, and through that sponsor letter, they will obtain a visa, and then they will postpone their rotation to next 1 or 2 months. So no, but that won't become a huge problem. So you can do that also.
Just one more question: how to get electives for rotation?
Okay, so how to get electives? Yeah, I think it is already covered in the previous webinar. If you know any doctors in the US working in a hospital or working in any academic position, you can try to approach them, and you can get any electives. Okay, so the second thing is try to look for electives. Do your own research in the internet. Get to know where the electives are, because a lot of positions open and close all throughout the year. So we exactly can't say which electives are open and which electives are not. So do your own research beforehand, and if you find that okay, this university is open for electives, go to their website. They will have a special page to apply for an elective. So fill out the application, and you need to pay some application fees. And if you are lucky enough, they will approve your application, and then there are next steps where you need to pay the elective fees, and that's how you get electives. So this will take a long time. Basically, the process of applying, the process, the time to process your application and to approve the application, it will take around 6 to 7 months generally. So I suggest you to apply to electives beforehand. I've heard that John Hopkins is giving some electives, student electives. You can go to their website and you can just look at go to the tab where the application for the electives is there, and you can apply for that. So you can just Google. So I need to tell you that Google and internet are the most important companions for you. So use them as much as possible. If you have any doubt, just Google it. If you want to get some electives, just Google electives for IMGs in the US. Go through the website. You'll get to know where the electives are being open. So go to their official website and try to apply them. But this is a time-taking process. Okay, so the third thing is there are a lot of agencies, third-party agencies. Uh, we have uh, we have told the names of the agencies in the previous session. So it is a pretty it's a very short process. It won't be that time-taking, but electives obtained through third-party agencies are not that preferred, in my opinion, because the LOR will be somewhat generic. Okay, so it won't be that specific catered to you. And these agencies generally they take some money from you, so it's not that cheap to get a rotation. You need to pay some fees beforehand to the agencies, and they will give a rotation. And the rotation generally won't be in an academic or university. Generally, it will be in some hospital, which might or might not be affiliated to university, and clinics, which are not the first preferred option. So, if you want to say, but the agencies will provide you an invitation letter for your visa. So generally the agencies are prefer to open a visa. Okay, so you can try that. If you want to go, you can try that also. There are some good rotations that are even given through the agencies. Do your own research for that. Ask your peers, ask your seniors who are already gone, or ask in any groups. You will. The thing is, you need to do your own research. That's the most important thing. Thank you.
Yes, to add something to what he said, two other ways are one thing is try going to LinkedIn and Twitter. You can find
Yeah, yeah. So
program directors.
yeah,
Yes.
sure, sure. Yeah, you can do that also. Okay, if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, you can go to LinkedIn, create a profile. Okay, there are a lot of residents and program directors and a lot of uh, attendings who have their official LinkedIn profiles. You can just connect with them, okay, and ask them. There are also a lot of applicants, USML applicants, so you can connect with them and try to ask them where they have rotated, and can they give any insight or input where it's better to rotate. Try to mail a lot of people. You won't be getting a lot of replies, but if you try to reply to 100 people, you should try to ask 100 people. At least 10 of them or 5 to 10 of them will reply back to you. So that is what I want to do. And also you can go to Reddit and ask, or you can ask in WhatsApp groups. So use your social media as much as possible. Even Instagram, you can follow a lot of. There are a lot of USMLE pages which which post any recent rotation openings or recent elective openings. You can try to follow them. If you want, we can make a webinar on all these things. In later parts. Okay. If you're interested, we can do that also. So try to try to use your social media, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your Reddit as much as possible, your WhatsApp. These are the main things, main inputs for you. Try to be proactive. That's what I want to say. Just try. Don't be afraid to ask any person. Nobody is going to judge you. Okay. People are really People will be really glad to help you. They'll come forward and help you. Not all of them, but no, most of them will help you. So don't be afraid to message or ask any stranger or any person. Don't think that, oh, what are they going to think about me? Okay, nobody's going to think anything. You need to remember that you are the one who is going through this process. The last step is obtaining residency in the US. That's what you want. Okay, keep that in mind, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
In the previous webinar, we've already covered how to get a USCE, and we've made two PDFs or two forms. We have done a small research and we prepared a small document where you can find all the USCE there, which we have gathered. So if there are any new people in the group or in the call, you can just ping in the group so that we can share it again. And do consider following us in Instagram and join us in the WhatsApp group also. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. So do consider filling the Google form which I've sent in the chat box so that we can know what sessions to bring up in the future. And if there are any questions, you can ask in that form. We'll answer. We'll try to answer it. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you for attending. I think we provided a decent amount of information for you. Yes, we have collaborated with an organization, and the host will be giving you all the insightful and in detail information from scratch what is research and what you can do. So stay tuned for the next week's webinar. We will be updating in the group also. Okay, thank you for joining the session. Thank you, Harshit, for presenting.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. All the best.